Hi everyone. Okay, sugar. It's all we're hearing about these days, right? So last week we talked about the 12 different types of sugar substitutes. So if you missed it, make sure you check out that short video as well. This week we're going to talk about how much sugar is okay to consume. It's with good reason that the wellness community talks about sugar so much. Too much sugar is linked to the obvious conditions like diabetes and obesity, but there is a ton of scientific evidence that it's linked to heart disease, cancer, and all the conditions that fall under irritable bowel. So let's clarify one thing that confuses a lot of people, and that there are two types of sugars. Those that are truly natural and come from foods like fruits and vegetables, and then there are added sugars. So first, the natural sugars. While sugar from fruit is in fact natural, you do want to be careful about how much you're eating, especially if you have any sugar-related conditions like diabetes or you're trying to lose weight. Whole fruit will always be a better choice than fruit juice, and it's important to understand that some fruit is much higher in sugar than others. Take a look at a few of these charts I just quickly found on Google. Okay, so here is a little chart that I found on Google that I really liked because it shows both the amount of sugar in the fruit and the amount of fiber. So what you want to look for are the fruits that are the highest in fiber and the lowest in sugar versus the fruits that are the highest in sugar and the lowest in fiber. So hopefully that helps sort of clarify the difference there, and I think this is a really helpful little chart. But here's where the confusion comes in. When sugar is consumed in any of its forms, it's stored in the liver as glucose until the body needs it for all its various bodily functions. But when you have too much sugar, the liver simply can't store it all, and when it's overloaded, it turns the sugar into fat. And while, as I said before, sugar from natural sources like fruit is better because of the other nutrients and vitamins in it, but sadly the liver can't always know the difference when it's overloaded. So this is why we have to be careful about too much fruit, especially fruit juice. But the biggest concern of all, of course, is added sugars. It's recommended that men have about 35 grams of sugar per day, women about 20 to 25, and children 12 to 15. That is not a lot. So let's take a moment to talk about label reading. When you're looking at labels in the ingredient list, when you see words that end in OSE, those are sugar molecules: fructose, glucose, lactose, sucrose, maltose, dextrose. They're all different words that mean sugar. When you're looking at the nutritional facts on the label, you are looking for the total carbohydrate line and then the subline underneath it that says sugars. Okay, so let's take a look at a few labels. Okay, so I'm going to give an example of one of the things that I love to eat, which is this Purely Elizabeth granola. And as we know, granola can often be so packed with sugar. But here are the ingredients of this particular granola. And as we talked about last week, this granola is sweetened with organic coconut sugar, which, as we learned, if you watched the video from last week, has a lower glycemic index. So it's a better sugar choice. And if you look at this label, under the total carbohydrate, we're looking at the sugar here, and it's 6 grams per serving, which is not too bad. Of course, you have to make sure that you keep your portion size down, but not too bad for a serving of granola. The next thing is a kind bar, and as you can see on their label here, again, you want to look for the bars that say 5 grams of sugar on them or less, because those are going to be your best choices for having a quick snack that could satisfy a sweet tooth without being a sugar bomb. And the last example I'm going to give you is an RX bar. And this one is a little different because, as you'll notice, the total sugars are quite a bit higher at 15 grams. But that's because they are sweetened with dates. And once again, if you watched last week's video, you'll know that dates are a natural sugar source from a whole food. So that is not going to be as harmful to your body. Now, that said, we don't want to eat these all day, every day. It's really meant for a snack in a pinch. That's going to be a better choice than a lot of things out there. So, so that's a little nutritional label literacy 101. So there you have it, lesson number 2 on sugar. As I've said before, I used to be a sugar addict. I owned candy stores, for God's sakes. So if I can pull back, I'm certain you can too. The key is to pull back a little at a time because it's proven fact that your taste buds will adjust. For example, if you put 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee every morning, that's 4 to 8 grams of sugar. And if you're trying to keep your sugar under 25 grams, this equates to almost 1/3 of your total intake for the day, or what it should be, just in coffee. So if you switch over to a little stevia, you can sweeten your coffee without any added sugar. And please don't give up after trying this one time. Give your taste buds a chance to adjust. I also love to encourage clients to use spices like cinnamon, which add lots of flavor without any sugar. So remember, be kind to yourself and just start by being aware. There are tons of apps on your phone that you can actually count sugar intake if you want to just experiment to see what you're eating on an average day. And as I tell everyone, I try to keep my sugar intake during the week as low as possible, so when I decide to have a dessert or splurge on a fun night, it's not the end of the world. So I hope this helps, and as always, thanks for watching.